Okay, I'm here at the back corner of my house, my small bonsai garden, and what I wanted to talk about on this video was just one of the things that makes bonsai so rewarding is that it brings ordinary things like trees you see everywhere and maybe even seen them their whole lives, and all of a sudden it brings them up to eye level, and you start to notice detail that you didn't really notice before. And here in the garden, this is one of the real pleasures of springtime, when after a cold winter here in northeastern Ohio, you get these trees starting to leaf out. You hear the spruce throwing out these bright green little tassels, beginnings of their candles. And over here is a ginkgo that's kind of in training. But they get these marvelous little swirls that come out and unfold into like a package of leaves. And of course, the real star here are things like the Japanese maples that have these leaves that are really as colorful and interesting looking as the flowers on a lot of plants. And you can see this is again is one that last year it got eaten by the rabbits, and it's taken it a season and a half now to bounce back a little bit, but its leaves are really something when they first come out. Another plant, this is a common, made from a common shrub, a yew, and he's turned into a nicely formed tree with a lot of dead wood and so forth. But again, these little green tassels popping out, the bright green color kind of excites you. And even the bigger trees, this is a Ponderosa Pine, but it's just rained here overnight, and you get these contrasting colors because the bark gets so dark, and the bright green of the new foliage and the darkness the water left them, and on some of the pines too. It's just very dramatic. You're like when you think of spring as an awakening. My favorite is probably the larches. I got this little boy kind of hidden here, but the larches, they're not quite out all the way, but they just get this vibrant green on them. It just makes you happy to look at it. Anyway, I put this out. We have a local club here in Akron-Canton Bonsai Society, and just kind of wanted to share with you what some of these colors, incredible they look when they pop out. One of the things that makes bonsai such a unique art. Here's another little section where you can see the amazing kind of things that bonsai brings. These are Concord grape vines. I dug these out of my mother's yard a few years back and got them to live in a pot. Lots of holes and hollows to it. It's pretty remarkable kind of specimen. It's not a traditional subject because of the large leaves it gets, but here's what I wanted to show you. This is another thing in the spring. Not sure if the camera will focus, but they get these incredible rosettes as the leaf buds unfurl. Now, I grew up, when I was a kid, we had these vines, both of them, the two of them are here, and my mother used to make juice and jam and so forth, and I remember my brother and sister and I having our wagon piled high with grapes for it. But I never noticed how amazing these things were until I put this thing in a pot I started training it as a bonsai. Again, one of the things that just makes the art so marvelous is the way it lets you see these things in detail. And I'm not sure how it's coming out in the camera because it wants to blur on me, but there's a lot of red, like a red edging on those leaves. And you just don't get that color everywhere. Here from the back. But bonsai shows you the way on these things. And just one more section of the garden here next to the house. And the hornbeam comes out in these neat folding little leaflets here. And on the Shimpaku juniper, you get these real bright little nibs on the edge where they're starting to grow. And of course, over in this section, the other junipers. Pine's kind of turned around backwards there, but they're starting to put up their candles. You see the color start to punch out. And this bad boy here, not quite there yet, but in another week or so you'll see the bright green edges on them, a lot like you do on the Shimpakus. And again, the larches. The larches get that just vibrant green coming out, catching those water droplets. But I mean, the color green just kind of makes you happy to look at them. And then juniper here catching the water. And then over onto this section, some more larches. This is a collected larch from Canada, but you can really see the brilliant color of them. And you get the little larch forest here coming into view. I've seen these in Pennsylvania over by Cook Forest. You can see them on the hillside, the larches. It's really incredible in the fall too when they get that wonderful yellow color. You can actually spot them from a distance in Pennsylvania, the sides of the mountains, because the other trees have already dropped their leaves when the larches are still in color. But they're just amazing in the way they sort of bring out that contrast between light and dark. And one other spruce, styled by a deer, who ate the whole side of it one winter. So now the side of the tree is all dead wood. Growing a new top on him. I think he'll look pretty good in before the end of the season. We'll get kind of a angled crown, say, sort of at the top here, about yay high. But again, the candles start to push out and they get that vibrant green. And even some of the smaller trees, this is that's work area here is a little bit of a mess, but this is a Chinese elm that I made the mistake of planting one in the yard, and then when I brought it out, I started getting all kinds of them popping up everywhere like weeds. But you get that dark hollow and this cool foliage on it.